Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, coming here with my Flosstube update number 392. That's a little bit. Yeah. I guess I can't move here. Today is Saturday, June 28th. So the end of the month. We have our, of course, next numbers for July WIPGO here, and also I have some a new start for cross-stitch camp for July. Lots of stuff to take care of, to talk about, to cover up. So I've been working on. I've finished my WIPGO stuff. I have a finish. Last week I talked about finishing the Black Cat season series, the bell pull, and that number 6 of the Black Cat season series was the start and finish. A SAF, as people say nowadays, start and finish. But also for my WIPGO, my other WIPGO call for this week, I also have a SAF, a start and a finish. This is a Stacy Nash, one of her Calling of the Sea series. It's a trio, I should say. It's not exactly a series, perhaps, but it's three patterns in one, basically. So there's a whale, a ship, and a compass. And I did the ship last summer for one of the cross-stitch camp challenges, to stitch something new to you. I'd never done a Stacy Nash before. So I did this ship, and so this time I did the compass of this series. And that's this one here that I finished. I started it on this past, I want to say Monday, and I finished it Wednesday morning. So it was just really quick. Just lots of fun stitching. This is all, I dyed this fabric for the ship one. This is 28 count Lugana. And uses Week Styleworks threads. There's really only 3 colors. This one here is Cayenne, I think. Yeah. And then navy is this dark blue, and the gray is dolphin. So we just uses those 3 colors. Well, and it stitched up pretty quickly. So that is Calling of the Sea. That's my WIPGO number 23, I think. Yeah. So Black Cat season was 21. This is 23. And so also, of course, I have 2 new starts as part of my WIPGO board. And those are also Stacy Nash, the animal crackers things. And so with the new starts, I don't have a goal. They're just get them started. So this is my number 21. The pattern was Blizzard with a little, I guess, Arctic fox. I don't know. But he's got a little scarf on, and yeah. And I think I misspoke last week. I think I said that these were on 46 count. They're not on 46 count. I think it's 28 count, or 32, I should say, 32 count. I think it's Murano Carré, but I'm not positive. Just judging by the size of the piece of fabric. But anyway, so I did one length of. I cut one length of thread, and then it's, I'm doing 2 over 2, so it was 2, 4, 6, so three lengths, So that's this. I just started on his scarf because I started in the middle of the design, and so I just did the 3 lengths on his scarf there. So that's the part that goes around his neck, and then I don't remember which direction I went. I think I went this way, but I'm not positive. Maybe I went that way. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way I did. But anyway, so that is 2/2, and these are Weeks Dye Works threads also. And I think this is that same cayenne color that I used on the compass. So I don't know when I'll get back to that, next year sometime, probably. Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it'll be anytime this year. So Millie was my other one, my number 23 animal cracker, Stacy Nash. And this, I kept this needle minder there just because I wanted to make sure I kept this on the upright. I mean, this is the top, right? Because this is the elephant's blanket, and it's just one length of thread, 2/2, same fabric, same Weeks Dye Works threads. This is broom tree, this color of thread. So I just did one length of the 6, lengths of thread from one cut piece. So because I wanted to, I did them both on Sunday, so I just wanted to get them started, and I just it was getting late and I didn't have the mental energy to do more on that one. And I was thinking that if I finish my cross stitch camp piece before the 30th, that I may get back to that Millie at least to finish doing the thread, the length of thread, to finish that one section, to finish those threads on that length. And speaking of cross stitch camp, for June, the challenge was stitch something that shows whether you're a daytime or a nighttime stitcher, some motif that indicates that something you see during the day or something you see during the night, whatever. So my sister Eve suggested this Day and Night, Celestial Sisters Bescorn You by Silver Creek Samplers, because I stitch both day and night. So last week, I had this finished, the sun side, and so right now I'm working on the moon side. So here's the finished sun side. I did the back stitch line around the outside and did all the suns and clouds is all that's really in there, but in these little individual stitches here on that. But that's the sun side, so that's all done. And I'm working on the moon side. And so, I have the needle minder here. I just started, there's like individual dots like this, and then some stars all around it dispersed, throughout the design. I did the moons except for their eyes and eyebrows. So I did a little bit of this one. There's still some $37.99 of this, the darkest color around the eyes. So on this big moon, I did the white part of the eyes, and so there's just those dark off black stitches here, and this moon will be done. But so those same colors of the eyebrows and the eyes will go in these little moon things, but the crescent moons themselves, other than the eyes, are done. So each of those corners, and then these little golden swirl things are done. And then the stars go, as you can see, the stars go on those swirls, and then also just individually in between, right next to the sun, the moons. So that's the part I'm working on now, the white little specks and stars And then I'll do those faces, the eyes on those faces. I'm hoping to get it done in the next, like I said, I have until the 30th to finish the, cross stitch camp challenge. So I did do a little bit of the back stitch line here on the outside just to finish this piece of thread. When I did the swirls, I did the big swirl here. I started off with that first as I, went around. And then just earlier today, I guess, last night and today, I started on these small swirls. And I had, cut a length of thread to work on those. And the length I had was enough to do everything except these last 4 stitches. So I couldn't quite finish those 4 stitches. So I left that, and I did the next swirl, and I left the 4 off, and I did the next swirl, and I left the 4 off, and this swirl. And then I went through with another piece of thread, and because out of the 6 lengths, I used 4, right, to do those individual short swirls. And so the next one, I did 4 stitches here, and 4 stitches, and 4 stitches, and 4 stitches. And so with the leftover length, I started on this back stitch line here. That was as far as I got with that piece. So anyway, but so for now, I'm working on the white, and I did, like I said, a little bit of a white on his eyes because I had a smaller piece of thread that I finished those with. But I want to finish these, but it's, the counting is hard to do those because they're, I have to count to do the individual threads, spots, whatever. So anyway, but that's almost done. I'm hoping to finish it in the next few days because I have until the 30th. Today's the 28th. So yeah. So for the rules of cross stitch camp, I have until the 30th to finish this. So I'm hoping to finish it, and it's a fairly ambitious piece for cross stitch camp because I'm having to do 2 full sides of the biscoring, because most biscoring you have one full side and then the back side is basically just like maybe the corners and whatever, a little design, less of a design than the front. But this one is heavily designed front and back. It's like so it's a little bit more stitching, but it's fun. And actually for August, I'm doing another biscoring. I kind of wanted to do one for each month, because that would have been kind of a funny little, way to do everything. But I didn't have one for July, for the challenge for July, which is stitch something by your favorite designer. And actually, I was going to do Tiny Modernist, because Tiny Modernist has several biscoignons, because she had a biscoignon of the month series a few years ago. I don't think she's continuing on with that, but she had a biscoignon of the month series, and she you can buy them individually now from her on her website. So I have several of biscoignons by Tiny Modernist, but I didn't want to. There was one. She has an elephant one, but that I think I already started or already. I don't know if I finished it, but I started it already. Maybe I'd finished it. I don't know. I finished it, but I don't think I've finished sewing it together. Anyway, so I couldn't do that particular one. And I think I don't have I have, like a couple of other Tiny Modernist Biscornu patterns, but I didn't have them with me. I think they're, mostly in storage. So, but I did have for my July challenge, another one of my favorite designers is Ink Circles, Tracy Horner of Ink Circles. And she had an elephant design. She had this Forget-Me-Nots was part of the Night Garden palette series from Nashville this year. So this elephant with a little bouquet of flowers. So I decided, because Tracy Horner Ink Circles is one of my favorite designers. So this is the July challenge piece. And I will be stitching it on this piece of 28 count even weave that I dyed myself. And of course I'll be using the Night Garden palette. These are the little Eiffel Tower thread drops that I bought from, I think I bought them at the same time that I bought this pattern. I don't know. But anyway, so these are the 4 colors from that Night Garden series. And I also bought, I think from I can't say her name now. Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. She had these little storklet scissors. I think I bought these during the spring mingle, the Eiffel Tower thread drops, and this these little storklet scissors. So they're stork, but they're very tiny. So yeah. So I bought that just specifically for this Ink Circles pattern. Thought they would work very nicely. Just like for the Black Cat series, the Black Cat season series, I bought a pair of black scissors to go with that. But anyway, so other than that, for July, I have the WIPGO numbers for July, which are number 2 and number 16. And so that will be by my number 2 WIP for, my number 2 WIP is Aprile Dolce Dormir by Madame Chantilly. That's this one here. And this pattern actually there's 2 separate patterns. You could do just the baby bunny sleeping in the carrot by itself, or you could do the whole picture, which is the mother and father bunny and the baby sleeping on the wheelbarrow, on the big carrot and the wheelbarrow. And I'm doing this big one. I may at some point choose to do the little one by itself. I don't know. I don't know. But I did start this last year, I think. And I dyed this fabric myself. I think this is 28 count even weave. And so last time I worked on it, I did all or most of this little tree border thing. And I'm working on, I actually have a piece of thread and a needle there. I was working on this carrot. And this is the wheelbarrow here. And so I haven't done the bunnies yet, the mother and father bunny or the baby bunny, or their tools. But I've got this, like I said, this carrot started. And like I said, I don't know if there's some white stitches that are part of this garland. Those I have not done yet. Just the green leaves and branches there. The white parts are the flowers, I guess, that are part of this garland. I haven't done any of those yet. But anyway, so that is my number 2 WIP that I'll be working on. And the goal for that is 7 days is been my goal for each of these. And then the new start for that block is Thread Milk, Indiana. This is her Statehood Splendor series. And I haven't chosen a fabric for this yet. I haven't decided. I bought 4 of these individual states. And so I think I will do just the 4, at least for now, rather than all 52 states. I just chose the 4 states that I have personally lived in. So I grew up in New Mexico, of course, and then I went to graduate school in Indiana, in Bloomington, Indiana. So I lived there for 2 years, apart from coming home from school, of course. But for 2 years I went to school in Indiana. And then I moved to Arkansas for 25 years. And now I live in Arizona. So those are the 4 states I bought: New Mexico, Indiana, Arkansas, and Arizona. And I think the Arkansas one has a couple of different colors, but the New Mexico and Indiana have basically one color. I think Aztec Red is the color in New Mexico, and this is Apple Fritter, is this red color. It's I think Classic Color Works color for Indiana. And like I said, I think Arkansas has like 3 colors. It has some blue in it. And the Arizona one, I don't remember offhand. But anyway, so like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do all 4 of them on the same fabric. I have to look at my fabric stash to see what I have. And, you know, these are all done, I think, on basically the same color. This is 36 count platinum by Zweigart, and I will probably choose a different color. I just have to look and see what looks good with these red threads. But this is my new start for number 2 for July. And then the other number for July is number 16, and my whip is the Little Brown Bat from the Year in the Woods series by Cottage Garden Samplings. And so on this one, I've done the outline of the bat's wings and the light brown of the body. And I did, I think, this one black claw thing. And I did the cabin and a couple of these leaves down here last time I worked on it. So let me pull that up here. So, and this is on, I want to say it's 32 count linen that I dyed myself. So there's the bat. And I think there's this gray part is, yeah, part of his face. Like I said, I did this one claw because it was the same color as this part of the tree here. And I did the little cabin, and I think just part of one leaf. Oh no, maybe that is the leaf. Yeah, I didn't do the like brown, like little spiny end of it, so it's just part of this leaf. But I'm hoping that I can get more of it done. Maybe I'll get the rest of the wings done and the rest of his body. We shall see. Because after that, it's just basically the leaves around it. So the actual bat is most of the stitching on that. But it depends on how long it takes me to do the forget-me-nots. I don't think that is that much stitching involved. So, but hopefully I can spend the greater part of the time on that, because that's a lot of stitching on the bat. And then my new start for that block is for number 16 is Quillber, and this is by the Blue Flower. This little porcupine. Hold on one second. So Quillber This was a pattern that came out at the Jingle Ball. I think she had provided at the Jingle Ball. And I think this was a fundraiser for an animal charity. I don't know if it's a part of the zoo where Quillber was, or I don't think it says on this particular pattern. Yeah, I think she may have said at the time that it was released, whatever. But Quillber is holding a little tiny nutcracker. There's a little more detail. So the nutcracker itself in this pattern is like there's a close-up of it, and so that you can see what you're doing basically. But Quillber's little face, you can just make it out up here. And then there's stretch stitches for all the little quills. So it looks like it'll be fun, and it's not very big at all. It's just 33 by 44, so it's very small. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to stitching that. That's I may be able to start it and finish it for number 16. So, yeah, those are all my plans. I've got, like I said, stuff coming up for July, and I'm hoping that I can finish my my Biscornu for this month. And yeah, so I think that's all I've got going on for the end of this month and the beginning, and going into July. I wanted to tell a funny story. I talk about this on our Three Sisters Creative video, but I happened to cause basically a disaster at the grocery store. Those in the movies, there's always, they always a scene where somebody, grabs an orange. There's a pyramid of oranges, and they grab the wrong orange, and all the oranges fall down. I did something similar at the grocery store this past week. My sister and I went to the store the other day, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday, and we were at the checkout line already, but there was, some people ahead of us. And so we were standing there we were in line waiting to go in, and I was in, one of those little electric cart things. And my sister and I were talking about this bottles of, I had a couple of bottles of vitamin water, and I was talking to Eve, and I said, I can go get another one for you, whatever. And so I went back to where I had seen them, which was not far from the checkout line. There was a section there with where all the chips were and stuff, and they have a little section there to tempt you to buy sodas or whatever, and that's where I had originally seen them. That they didn't have. I was looking for this one flavor, for a 0 sugar version of this one flavor, but there wasn't one there. And so I thought, well, maybe they have it on this other aisle, where the drink aisle, the dedicated, drinks aisle. They have like one with sodas and one with fancy waters and one with sports drinks and whatever. So I thought, well, maybe I'm gonna zip my little cart over there real quickly, because I know Eve is still waiting in line, and I didn't want her to do that before she had to get out of line. So. But they, like I said, they didn't have any in that little chip aisle section there. So I went zipping down to the drink aisle, and I went down this one aisle, and I realized, oh, this is not the right aisle. This is all the sports drinks, all the Gatorade and stuff like that. And And so I had gone down to the end of the aisle, and I was going to go into the next aisle, right, where all the fancy waters were. But as I went around the corner, because I was hurrying so much, I turned the corner wrong, and I hit the corner of my cart on one of these displays. And the display was it's a long hanging display thing with those 3 packs of gum. And so all the 3 packs were hanging on these little, spikes on the display thing. And when I hit it with the corner of my cart, it shook the display thing, and I guess a couple of the spikes came out, and just packets of gum came cascading down. So about 5 or 6 of them landed in my cart, and many more of them landed on the floor right there. And then as the little display thing swung back, it hit. I was right on the end cap of the aisle, and so it swung back and hit that end cap. And in the end cap were boxes of cereal. And so as it swung back, it knocked the boxes of cereal down, and then maybe two shelves of these boxes, and they were 3 or 4 boxes deep. They just came boom, boom, cascading off the shelf onto the floor. So there's this gigantic mess on the floor. And if I'd have been smart, I would have taken a picture of it to share, because it was the most mortifying and hilarious thing in the world. This just mess and I was just like, I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I can't just leave it there. I can't, I didn't know what to do. And fortunately, a kid, came around the corner from the next aisle over, to see what had happened, and he's like, I'll get somebody up to clean it up. And so in the meantime, my sister is still waiting at the checkout. So I'm looked through the bottles of drink, whatever, and picked something. And as I was, I kind of turned my cart around, and I was coming out, there was a couple that had come upon that aisle, and they were just like, what happened here? They're like I guess trying to decide, do we go get somebody? Do we tell somebody about this? And so I had to tell them, this guy already knows, he's coming to clean it up. And I was trying to slink away, really, I'm sorry. So yeah, my adventures at the grocery store. But anyway, so I'll try not to do that again. But so those are my plans, my accomplishments for this week, and my plans for next month, and for the next couple of days. Hopefully I'll finish my Biscornu. For those of you in the U.S., happy 4th of July. This coming Friday next week, is the 4th of July. So I hope you all are having fun and planning some fun stuff. I don't think we have any plans in our family for any, we're not doing fireworks, we're not barbecuing, we're not doing anything like that. As far as I know, there's nothing planned, which is fine, which is great. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fireworks, and neighbors setting off fireworks, and the city setting off fireworks and things like that, But yeah. So, but I don't think we don't have any any real family plans or anything like that. So, but for the rest of you, I hope you all have fun. I hope you go do whatever you're doing. Go to the lake, have your barbecue, setting off fireworks, whatever it is you're planning on doing. Hope you have fun doing that. Be safe, be hydrated, stay out of the heat, and keep your pets inside. For a lot of animals, that, the 4th of July, the banging and the things going off and all that's not a lot of fun. I remember one time we had our dog, when I was a kid, our dog Cuddles, was in the house, and we were out, setting off fireworks in the backyard or whatever. And our dog was just going bananas. And we came in, and she had torn up the curtains. We had drapes, I guess, on the sliding door to the backyard, and she had torn it up because I think she got her foot caught in the part of the drapes or something, and it just like tore it across the bottom. And yeah, so, but for a lot of pets, it's very scary. They don't like all the banging and the noise and all everything that goes with the fireworks. So, so if you have pets, keep them inside, keep them safe, keep them out of that banging noise, and but otherwise, I hope you have fun, whatever your plans are for the 4th of July. And when I see you next, it'll be the 5th of July. So that will all be behind us, and we'll see what progress I'm making on my July plans. So until then, we'll see you all. Have fun and stay safe, like I said, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.